Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's rendition of the WREPcast. I'm your host, Lucien Barrows, and the man sitting across from me on the other side of the table this time is Loadfailure 404. And tonight we have two very special guests. To my left, we have the one we call Number 4. He's a new experiment. Hi, Number 4.
Hi.
And to my right, we have the triumphant return of Number 9. We had to do a little bit of rebooting and rewiring with the shovel, but all should be well now, right? The rage is gone. Most of it, at least. Yep.
I'm still working on speech processors.
Yeah, well, just keep tweaking a little bit. We should get them by about halfway through the cast.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, feel free to stand up, pull down your pants, and applause us without using your hands. But I don't want to see any videos unless you're ladies. Then feel free to show me, and in which case that might make me want to vomit. I don't know, like the whole lady thing. But it might be awkward.
It might be.
So we might just say, you know what, you do it in the privacy of your own home, and don't send us anything in regards to that whatsoever. I don't want to see it.
We might get something anyway.
Well, okay, but if they're cute or hot or whatever, then just...
Well, then it don't matter.
Yeah, then send them straight to me, and I will thoroughly examine the evidence.
Yes.
And maybe even, give some home visits or something. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so to start us off tonight, you wanted to talk again about the steampunk contest that we were having.
Yes.
I'll let you go ahead and fire that off real quick, like you do prematurely every night.
Oh, boy. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we announced a couple weeks ago that we are holding a steampunk contest. I recently got into steampunk a little bit. I think it's cool. I want to see what you can come up with. All you beautiful, invisible people out there.
Maybe you should specify that we're having a steampunk costume contest.
Oh, it's a costume contest.
For Halloween!
For Halloween. I don't know. For some reason, I thought 2 and 3 could go together. Anyway.
Yeah, 1 plus 8 doesn't equal 39.
Damn it!
Okay.
This is why I failed math. Yes. But we are offering a prize. Not the best prize in the world, but nevertheless a prize.
We're kind of poor.
Yeah, a little bit. It is a Alice in Wonderland Tea Party Steampunk pocket watch necklace. And so you guys who can come up with really cool costumes, feel free to send us pictures, video, whatever, and we will judge, and we'll tell you when should our deadline be for this.
We really haven't actually officially decided on a deadline. Close to Halloween. Let's see here. Well, yeah, somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not Thanksgiving. That wouldn't be a good idea.
No, not really.
Although, sorry, different idea. Worry about that later.
Okay.
I still haven't looked at the dates yet because I'm lazy, and I will check as soon as the. I'll check somewhere midway through the podcast. I'll look it up while other people are yammering, and I'll find a rough date for us that we can set it to.
Okay.
But on the topic of steampunk, I found something that might interest you if you hadn't known about it. No, first of all, you got into steampunk recently because of a Renaissance fair, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Well, what I happened to stumble across just the other day was something called Contemporal. What it is it's actually a steampunk convention.
Ooh,
it's
boy.
a yearly thing. Now, it just started a couple years ago, and it's down in, I believe, it's in North Carolina. And so it's fairly new, but it's a thing. They have cosplay and shit like that. And I've seen some of the cosplay for it. Some is pretty neat, some is kind of but still, I just figured you might be interested in that. Who knows? Maybe if we're lucky, by the time it comes around again next year, we might have money, send your ass there so I can get rid of you for a weekend.
Maybe.
And, do something to get myself sane again.
You sane?
All right, fine, whatever. I'm just gonna binge drink that weekend.
Okay. That sounds better.
But yeah, it's just a thought that we might come across later when the time comes closer. We have the money. We'll see what we can do. Who knows? Maybe we'll feel nice and get the whole crew down there. Or
Hey, that'd be great.
Again, just send you and then hire someone down there to make sure you never make it back. Whichever.
Hookers?
I'm testing. I have to test it.
Oh wait, no. No.
Oh, number 4 says that he'll take. It looked like cookies for that job. If I give him cookies, I think he is trying to say that he will make sure you don't make it back. So.
He doesn't care what kind of cookies?
Would you prefer homemade? No, he doesn't really care. Okay, so, sorry, we're still working on number 4's vocal cords a bit.
Yes.
They work sometime, but oddly enough, he needs a good shot to the throat to get him going. So yeah, but yeah, okay, so we talked about that, and on the topic of steampunk, let's move on to Steam, the game company.
Oh, okay. I thought we were
not steam powered.
Okay, I was like,
brain out your ass. We're going to Steam, the I guess you can call them gaming company.
yeah.
Earlier this week, they said that they were going to have 3 major announcements throughout the week. The first of which was they announced that they are going to, for their new console when it comes out, they're going to be using their own Steam operating system. What do you think about that?
Dude, I'm loving the fact that they're coming up with their own OS. I'm kind of sick of seeing a Windows-based OS used for gaming.
Right.
I mean, I like the DirectX interface, or not interface, but rendering system that they use in Windows. It's really come a long way. DirectX 9 was kind of the hype. Then they came out with 9 with Vista, and it's really nice. But SteamOS is going in a totally different direction. They're going with Linux.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did mention Linux.
That's
I think it's cool. I think I don't know. I mean, I hear you talk about Linux all the time, but I feel like not enough people really know a lot about Linux. We're not going to get into that because we don't want to bore everybody to death.
Well,
we already have. But it's still something interesting. Here's what I'd love to see. Just for the fun of it, Linux's little mascot is a penguin, right?
Yeah.
I would love nothing more than to see the penguin in steampunk gear.
Oh, dude.
As like a logo somewhere in that system. Somewhere it has to be. It'd be so neat to see. Number 9, if you can vocalize enough for us, what do you think about the Steam operating system? The fact they're coming out with their own.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know much about Steam.
Okay, fair enough.
I just know that we play games on there.
Right. I forgot, you're more of a console guy.
Can I compare the 2 consoles real quick, or the Xbox One compared to this Steam that's coming out?
Go ahead.
Can we really make a differentiation between those 2, considering one is a console and one is going to be an operating system?
It's an operating system that's going to be for the console.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's for the what they're still calling the Steam box, I guess.
Yep.
It's going to be Steam's console they've been working on for some time now.
Just validates my point that I don't know much about Steam.
Yeah.
Right.
Again,
which is fine, but you know a lot about the Xbox One that's coming out, right?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
Huh.
Well,
Okay.
I think you know more than Load does.
Okay.
You're not sure about
I'm
the
just saying, I know
technology.
quite a bit.
Okay, I was gonna say,
I'm
really?
just messing with you, Chief.
Well,
I mean, like, what was it? We were talking about it earlier. You were looking forward to the idea of the new, what I'm calling the snap features, where you have one window going, then you can snap up something on another window, and well, go ahead and use a comparison that you made. I think you made the best comparison with the lobby versus like TV show and all that stuff, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, about that. And I think it's true. I don't really remember too much about it, but one of the features that I'm really looking forward to is when you're in an Xbox game and you're in the lobby waiting to join a game, you could be doing something else until you get into a game. So once you get into the game, you just say something like game or whatever, however it's going to be set up, and it'll take you right to the game. So,
which I think is pretty cool. I like the idea of
multitasking.
Exactly. I'm a multitasking type of person when I can be, when it doesn't hurt my brain too much.
Right.
That's I know I didn't do too well multitasking. I was trying to watch porn and invent your brain for you, and that didn't work too well. Sorry
No
about
wonder I feel
Horny.
all the time.
But what's Steambox though? Tell me about it.
Okay, Steambox from what I understand, Steambox is basically... Thanks.
Just kidding.
No, it's basically a computer, or a PC, but it's got Linux. They're using NVIDIA graphics cards, but this thing plugs into your TV. I don't know if I would assume they're using a HDMI, to connect the Steambox to your TV.
Okay.
But what's really nice though, it's an actual console, but it runs all the game, it runs, how many games did they?
if I was, I don't know how many games.
I remember.
If I'm to assume how it's going to be since it's Steam, I'm going to go ahead and assume that, they've had a program called Big Picture for a while now. Big Picture is basically it allows you to hook in a controller and be able to play some of the games on the PC through Steam on an actual controller. They've had some games where they've tweaked them to be set for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking the idea behind the Steam box is that you can have all your Steam games that you have in your library on access to play on the Steam box and play on your television. And the great thing about Steam is, their security isn't really too shabby. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they're going to keep that same kind of deal going because they probably lose a lot of people that suddenly start having to pay for that shit.
Well, yeah. Well, and if you think about it, though, all the games that they have ported for Linux, they said will work on that.
Yeah.
There's a feature that allows you to interface with your PC.
Which is great.
Yeah. So if you have games on there that you want to play on your Steambox, well, you just interface your Steambox with your PC, and you can, boom, play whatever game from your PC right on your Steambox.
Which would be pretty cool.
Which I like the idea versus Xbox One, or what Microsoft has done concerning their gaming policy now, where you always have to be plugged into the internet, where you always have to be.
Not anymore.
Nope.
Oh, they changed it again?
I told you that last week or the week before, man.
But going back to the Steambox thing that you were just talking about, how you can hook your Steambox to your computer and the Steambox hooks to the TV so you can play your games. Why not just hook your computer up to the TV?
Because not everybody knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Some people don't know what an S cable is.
Yeah.
I mean, just go out on YouTube or ask a technical friend.
Yeah, which is a thing, and I can understand.
I do it all the time,
but not everybody that plays games has their computer and their TV in the same room.
But
I mean, now granted, in my bedroom, I have my computer and my TV in the same room. So, yeah, I can run an S cable from the back of my computer to...
But how is it going to get from your computer to the Steambox?
Internet.
Actually...
That's what we're hoping the invisible people are listening to us on right now.
Yes.
So.
Well, because... What it does is just like regular Steam on your PC, you download the game, right? Well, if you already own that game, all you have to do is log into your account on that Steam box and download the actual program, right?
So it doesn't need to be hooked up to your computer.
Well, only if you're playing a game only if you want to play a game that is not ported for Linux.
In which case, you're just as good playing it on your computer. Probably at that point. So it's more of like you can have we have the game. We play the game Killing Floor.
Yes,
Every time we
I
get together.
love that game.
That's PC exclusive. There's no console version of that game, as far as I know.
Nope,
And
none.
so, if you want to play a game like that, but you want to do it with a controller on your actual TV, instead of having to take the time to get a controller that can hook into your computer, and then getting your TV hooked to your computer too, it's a lot easier just to pick up the controller that's already hooked into the Steam box, and then you can turn around and just play Killing Floor on there. Because it seems like one of the games they probably ported in for the idea of having a controller. It's a first-person shooter. It kind of fits with like Left 4 Dead, which is already, there's console version for and all that stuff. Yeah, I can't guarantee I'm going to go out and buy the Steam box, but if
I will put
if I did, I think I'd get some use out of it.
What I will do though is I'll put kind of a plug out there for Steam. They're right now doing prototype testing, or their prototype testing will start in October 22nd, I believe, or that's when they'll announce who will be beta testing these prototypes. So if you have a Steam account, just go on to your Steam community and look at, what was it?
I don't remember, but let's put it this way.
Yeah.
To make it simple, if I remember right, the idea is you have to...
Have so many achievements or something
No,
like
the
that.
achievements don't think have anything to do with it. What you have to do is you have to at least play one game with the controller using the Big Picture program. You have to have at least 10 friends on your Steam, or friends attached to your Steam account, more or less. Those are, I think, some of the minimum requirements for it. There's somewhere in that you can actually keep track of how close you are to becoming a beta tester. So they actually track it for you, which is pretty neat. I think it's pretty cool of them. So I need to take the time to sit down and do that. I know there is, I can't remember, there was a site, I think Kotaku was doing it.
Yeah.
That I want to say it was Kotaku or somebody else, and there's a Steam community to it too, that is actually trying to help people get more friends. If you don't have 10 friends,
Oh, nice.
you can throw your name out on these lists, and then people will add you as friends and all that, so you can have more friends.
Cool.
So that way you can give it your best shot to get it too. So
And-
I think total hours of gameplay is one of the things as well.
Oh, yeah?
So, for as much time as number 4 and I have spent in, like, Mountain Blade, or Supreme Commander 2, or Civilization 5, not to mention I put in 69 hours exact into Plants vs. Zombies, and I will never play that game again on my account, just so I can keep that number. I'm proud of it. I'm keeping it there. I played for an extra hour once I noticed I was at 68 hours. Like, yeah, I'm going to get 69 and never touch this game again. Now, I've sat that way for 2 years now.
Wow.
But for as much time as some of us have put into some games, we might have a good chance. I've landed at least over 100 hours now into Skyrim alone.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've only owned it for the PC for not quite a year even. I've only had it for a few months, and I get bored easily, so I play Skyrim.
Now, keep in mind that Steam is only allowing 300 of these prototypes to go to beta testers.
Yep, so, make sure you try your little asses off to try to get that, because I think, honestly, I'm going to try hard. I want this. I want to beta test the shit out of this, because it seems awesome in its own right. Plus, the idea of doing this for the community is really cool. I love it when companies like this that are involved in the gaming industry do something good for the community.
Well, yeah.
It warms my cockles. So, I think it'd be
Wow,
awesome.
cockles.
Does it warm your cockles, 9?
No, not really.
No?
I'm sorry, I'm just not a Steam guy.
No, I mean, just the idea of them giving back to the community. Giving them a chance to beta test their unreleased console. Doesn't that warm your cockles? What, when someone does that?
It gives me warm fuzzies inside.
More fuzzies in the butthole?
Just
regular fuzzies? Okay.
fuzzies.
Oh, okay.
Alright, warm fuzzies it is. And I like warming my cockles. It's really nice when they're warm, whatever they are. I'm just assuming it's nice. Okay, anyway.
Anyway, but
Yeah,
real quick before I move on, I was doing a little more research on the Xbox One, and even though it's 2 months away from coming out, they're still coming out with a little more secrets and stuff like that. And I had no idea about this, but as of right now, the Xbox One is going to be able to identify up to 8 wireless controllers on.
8?
One console.
Nice.
Now, wait a minute. most games nowadays require you to be like two to a TV, you know, and that's if you're going to be playing on Xbox Live. What's the point of me having 8 Xbox controllers on one, well, wireless controllers, but either way, controllers connected to one machine, if I'm gonna be playing people on Xbox Live, and it goes, oh, I'm sorry, you can only have 2.
Well, yeah, we can only hope that game developers are going to change out some of that stuff instead of doing what 343 did when they took over fucking Halo Reach.
That was sad.
Mistakes with that game.
This is one of the beauties that I love about this. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I apologize.
See, he has that habit of interrupting people a lot.
Shut up. No, to your point, you are correct. However, this is making reference to Xbox One 24-player local co-op.
Oh, what?
Oh, okay, so we have like...
Yep.
Oh, I see.
So like a LAN party kind of deal. So if you had like, what, okay, so 8, so 4 Xbox and you could have 8 people per box.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat, actually, when you think about it. I mean, granted, we wouldn't have that many people in a LAN party. We don't have enough good-sized TVs for that.
Yeah.
But
I do.
Yeah,
think about it. Sometimes we play down here in the basement on a projector. Think if we actually had like 8 people playing the game on one console, we could all sit there and play on that projector. We'd have about the normal size TV screen for each of us. Now, granted, sitting back far enough and having to look at all that would be a little bit difficult, but it could be entertaining as all hell.
Yeah.
So, at the very least, for certain occasions, that's a pretty neat feature.
Yeah.
I gotta admit.
And it goes on to say that...
Actually, because one of the biggest things, I'm sorry to interrupt you again,
No.
but one of the biggest things is, how many years have we been, like, all our group been playing Halo? And how many times has there been that 5th or 6th man that has to sit out and wait for their turn to come up? Yeah, so just thinking back to some of the old LAN parties we used to have, or just some of the old single console get-togethers we used to do, where we'd sit there and play Halo and somebody had to wait it out. This would be so much better. Oh, dude, I'm totally thinking like 6 people on it. Like if Halo 5 comes out and they bring down the lockdown map that we used to do our rocket rounds and punch fights on. 6 people, rocket rounds, let's just raise hell on there together again, you know? It'd be fun. But continue, please.
Yeah, the article at GameSpot.com does say...
What?
Nothing.
No, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah.
It says, at the moment, the Xbox One supports up to 8 controllers, including connected headsets, and 16 smart glass devices. Current implementation of smart glass with Xbox One games can be seen in such games as Dead Rising 3 and Battlefield 4, albeit with a single user in mind. So.
I'm kind of impressed with this smart glass. I've not used it yet with my Xbox, but I'm kind of impressed just from what I've read.
I wish I could use it on my PC since I have Windows 8, whether I like it or not, but I don't have a touchscreen, so it kind of sucks for that. I've used it on my phone, and it's not bad. It's actually pretty neat to control. The only problem is the phone turns off from time to time when it does. I have to restart Smart Glass, kind of, or reconnect mostly, really. So it does get a little annoying with that, but I'm sure having it on my actual computer would be a totally different story. But yeah, which would have been nice if they actually made like a mouse feature for it on Windows 8, honestly, because not everybody's gonna have a goddamn touchscreen. So, but who knows? Maybe when they, I don't know if they're gonna reinvent smart glass in any way for the Xbox One, but I know it's gonna be integrated in it. So maybe they'll do something a little bit different, since not everybody wants to go out and buy a damn touchscreen.
Yeah.
Or has the money to go out and buy a damn touchscreen. Who knows?
That will probably win through the Kinect system.
Yes, most likely. Oh, and I was reading a little bit more. I know I talked a little bit last week, I think it was, or the week before, about the Cortana They were
right,
gonna
yeah.
have.
Yeah, I think you talked about Cortana a couple weeks ago.
Okay, I was reading a little bit more. The AI core is actually supposed to be cross-platform, so it's gonna be on for all the Windows 8.1 devices.
Like Cortana's going to be on 8.1?
8.1.
Nice. I think I'm going to have to update my computer to 8.1 when it comes.
So I don't know if it's going to be like coming out with 8.1 or if they just decided to throw it in later as an update. But from what I've read, it's supposed to go on the RTs, the mobile devices like the phones, and your computer. And and I would imagine that it could also go on sync as well, so it could control literally everything.
Huh.
Like, kind of like the way how Apple's cloud system is. You put stuff out there and you can get it on whatever device.
Actually, can I tell a funny story I read
Sure.
in the paper today? Speaking of Apple, though, that's what this is about.
Oh,
Apparently, Apple has their own map app out, and apparently there's a airport, I'm assuming not too big, in Alaska that found a little hiccup in the mapping system of this app. Apparently, twice now in the past month, this hiccup has caused some slight issues. Apparently, what happens is people that use this map app when they're going to this specific airport, instead of leading them to the parking lot, it leads them to the tarmac.
Oh no.
And there has been at least 2 incidences this month where people have where they've actually driven onto the tarmac. Now nobody's been hurt.
Wow.
Nobody's been hurt.
That's
so
a good
but
thing.
it's just kind of just a little screwed up. It's like, hey. But yeah, I just had to bring that up because I found that kind of entertaining as hell, really.
So everybody, if you're going to an airport, use Google Maps.
Specifically, airport in Alaska. Be very careful
Oh, okay.
there.
Yeah,
Use Google.
especially that one. Yeah. You don't go to the tarmac. Tarmacs are bad unless you're in the plane.
And for God's sakes, at least pay attention on whether or not it looks like a tarmac or not. I think that might be the main point.
read the signs. Read the
Yeah.
signs.
Read it.
One of the main purposes of a GPS is to help you get to your destination, but you still have to read the signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what good is it if you don't follow stop signs or anything else? But
It's kind of like that rule they had a while back. Any signs with the white border around it that were red, you don't have to stop it anymore.
Oh, okay, that sounds nice. So no yield signs, no stop signs, right?
Exactly.
Come on.
Oh
But,
boy.
let's see here. Going from that, do we want to? Let's see here. I know there was something about like the idea of technology. You wanted to talk about artificial intelligence.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been kind of reading a lot about it. I don't know. Maybe our listeners know this or not, but I forget how many years ago it was. IBM developed the supercomputer. They named Watson, and the idea of the supercomputer was basically to be able to, play Jeopardy. They hooked 90 servers together, and they programmed it to be able to not only talk like a human, but also to recognize a human's voice. And to that effect was to be able to understand human speech and give a proper response, given why they had it in Jeopardy.
I'd just like to say that that'd be more difficult nowadays since most humans can't understand human speech.
Not really, no.
English is hard.
It is.
Anyway, as you were.
No, and so I got reading on IBM's development site, and they were giving instructions on how to build what they dubbed Watson Jr. And I'll probably wind up posting a link to this site just because I found it pretty interesting. But I don't know. I think I might want to try and build one. But if I build one, it's only gonna stay small for a short time. Then it'll probably expand to about 16 or 32 computers.
Wait. Oh, okay. Glad you said computers. I was starting to wonder if we were still talking about AI or something completely different.
Well, yeah.
Voices in my head.
Well, that
They're telling you
too.
to burn things, aren't they? But you
Just
didn't.
like that, Leprechaun.
You see him
I
too?
thought I killed
Holy
the
shit.
leprechaun. Right.
Anyway.
Invisible people. They're more important than the leprechauns.
Yes, they are. Hi, invisible people. So, if any of you nerdy, geeky people out there, like, well, us, have ideas about artificial intelligence and see, because at the question that now I've talked a little bit about my work. It's a mindless job, and you have a lot of time to think. So the thought I pondered was, at what point does a machine amount so much knowledge and so much processing power that it can achieve consciousness?
When it learns to love.
I think that they actually put that in there as being able to be able to reproduce and have free thought.
Well, let's
Okay.
look at it this way. Reproducing as a computer is a little bit easier than it is as a human.
It
They don't have
is.
to go through the pain of pregnancy.
Unless you
They still have to
program
worry
it
about
in.
viruses, though.
Well, yeah.
But yeah. That is an interesting concept. I don't know. AIs terrify me. I'm afraid that they're going to be smarter than me. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you don't have to worry. A light bright's smarter than you, but
Light bright, smarter than... Oh.
at least occasionally it has a bright idea.
But
But yeah, but
only because you shoot my bright idea with a airsoft gun.
I'm not the one who ever shut the light bulbs when we did that. You did.
And another question is, with Google announcing that they are talking that at one point in time that the brain will be able to be downloaded to the computer, are we still going to still be kind of as a entity when we're just part of another network?
Now, see, the idea behind being downloaded to a computer, I don't mind so much, but the idea of just being free-roaming data, I don't like that. I still want to be in a human body so I can indulge in all the fun parts. Lots of food, lots of hard sex, and smoking. But on the upside, if we're allowed cloning...
We can be like Bender.
Yeah, if we're allowed the idea of cloning and things like that, then I'm totally fine if we can just swap our consciousness with a new body.
Oh, like the Asgard.
I prefer a newer model with a little less on the fat side, a little more on the muscle side. And I want to keep the beard. I like the beard. Both beards. And I'm pretty happy with my junk size, so I'm going to stick with that. I think I've never heard any complaints about it. So, but yeah, if we can do that, I'm fine with it. Whole being
Haven't been many people to complain.
yeah. Not either.
But with those talks is replacement
That's
with technology for human limbs, so robots.
Yeah. Well, now, so I guess my next question is, would we eventually turn into Borg? I mean, because no, I mean,
Go on.
seriously, it wasn't a smartass. It was a
No, I'm
honest
not saying it's a
question.
smart ass, just your nerds showing. Make sure you zip up.
Oh,
It just depends if we are willing to give up what we are, humanity, for technology.
well, then
Well, great, something
then
like that.
I would say we have to define what.
Free thought.
Yes.
If you give up that, then we're just one being.
Hive mind! Yeah, I don't like that idea. Everybody's
Borg.
gonna know what kind of porn I watch. And
Wow.
they kick me out. So
Wow,
I get to maintain
wow,
free
wow.
thought. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Oh, great.
But on the topic of AI, though, this leads me to an interesting topic that I read on Yahoo, I think it was.
Yahoo!
I don't know. Yeah, that. Shameless plug number 2. Oh no, wait, that's 3. We mentioned Google, didn't we?
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway.
In Steam.
Oh yeah. Okay, shameless plug number 4.
Wait.
5 Xbox.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop counting. This is hurting my brain. I can only count to 7.
We've been putting a lot of plugs out tonight.
Yeah. Oh well, they're all shameless nonetheless.
They are.
Because that's what we do.
It is.
I'm gonna shamelessly plug something later tonight. Wait, no, going somewhere else.
Wow.
Never mind.
No.
Back on the topic of AI. What is it? Some group, I don't know who they are, but some group that was apparently had an AI set up to play Civilization 5. Now, when they were playing it, it would essentially do a guess and check method. If something didn't work, the computer wouldn't do it again. If it did work, they'd keep using that process and keep just building on their victories on that. But at best, they'd only had, I think it was a 46% win record over the human players. Then they gave it the manual to the game. And to learn this manual, the AI taught itself English to learn how to read the manual in the first place. Because this was only something that understood binary and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it taught itself English to learn how to read the manual, and then in which case it actually upped its win percentage to like 74%, I think. So it's actually kind of interesting, impressive to some degree.
So does that mean that we need to read the manual to win the game?
Yes. Perhaps. And maybe understand it on a technological level, I suppose.
Now that
Technological
kind of goes back to my original question. What does it take to for a machine to achieve consciousness? So is that the start of it? Free thought. You give it a manual, and it goes, what do I do with it? It teaches it apparently or I would assume would choose to learn English in order to read this book to win this game better. I mean, would you think that's a good assessment, or would I be reading more into it?
I look at it as in the way of it's programmed for, depending on what the programming is, it's not actually free thinking, it's just following its own
yeah, in a sense, this kind of thing. It was, in a way, programmed to learn in general. It was programmed to learn the game, and then apparently, basically, the idea, the learning behind that was to, it caused it to learn English in a sense, and then learn the game better. So, as far as free thought, I can't guarantee that's actually what it was. For all I know, it could have tried to learn French first too.
Ooh la la.
C'est la vie. But so I can't guarantee nothing. But yeah, I'm with number 4. It does seem like it's not quite free thought
because
when you put it in that perspective. So
from what we've heard, it's every goal in it set is to win that game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it just followed a program to
that it had to. It's actually not using free thought in some sense because everything it's doing is just for that game. So it's just using the program to figure out anything it needs to do to win.
But isn't that what we do through life?
Yes, but some of us never learn.
Okay.
We do that plus other ways. It takes something and uses it. This worked. I'm going to keep using it until it fails.
Mm-hmm.
We see that they already figured out how to block that before it fails. We change it.
Basically, the idea of numbers versus, it's kind of the ideas of numbers versus gut feeling kind of deal.
That makes sense. That does. So, how do you program a gut feeling? Oh, I cut you off. I'm sorry, Don.
No. Finish up, Load.
I forgot what I was even saying.
Your load. Gross.
Oh!
Continue, 9.
On the topic of artificial intelligence, AI.
And fucking words.
I know. I have an article here where we might be getting closer to this AI stuff than we thought.
Okay, just help me out.
There's something here.
Pardon my vibration.
Basically, what it says here, they're a couple, Henry and Monica Swinton. Apparently, their son was comatose, and apparently brain dead in nearby hospital. And what they did is that they had somebody develop a robot to kind of be their son.
Right.
Until, because they were afraid they were going to lose their son. But apparently, it learned how to love and stuff like that. But then out of nowhere, their son came out of his coma.
Nice.
And stuff.
He didn't want to be replaced.
Yeah, he didn't want to be replaced. Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
That is pretty neat. And I'm glad that the kid came out of the coma. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that is good.
On a quick topic about the idea of technology advancing like that, I also recently read an article. Well, okay, I saw the article. I didn't actually read over it. I'm bad about that sometimes.
Good job.
I didn't get around to it. I was bored. I didn't feel like dealing with it. But what it was, apparently, there is some medical facility that has actually gotten to the point where they have I know number 4 knows the show Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
You know Full Metal Alchemist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're the only person
I'm
that's
the
out on
only
this one
person.
because you suck because you don't watch anime. So you should be ashamed of yourself. It's good stuff, though. You just sit there quietly and cry in the corner. Anyway, Full Metal Alchemist, for those of you who don't know, like Mr. Failure over there, the main character, Edward Ulrich, he ends up having, this is the baseline, he ends up having to have automail, which is a metal leg and metal arm at the point. And basically what it is, though, is the automail is hooked directly into his nervous system, so that he has full functionality over the fingers, the feet, and all that stuff. So it's all hooked in, so he can use it like it's a real hand and real leg and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We've got that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that just has recently gotten more of a thing where now they can actually properly hook your nervous system into these automail prosthetics, and you can actually make them function like a real part of your body again. Because there was a guy that recently had it done. He had lost one of his legs. Doing what, I don't know. But he recently got the prosthetic that was set up that way. All his nerve endings were successfully attached to it, and it acts like a real leg now. So it's just,
That's awesome.
It's just the idea of technology getting to that point. I think it's really cool. I love seeing that kind of stuff, especially if we can help people out more.
Well, yeah.
And especially with we've still kind of got 2 wars going on right now, and God knows the United States always wants to hop into another because we're just too antsy to shoot people.
Yeah, apparently.
But we've got plenty of people coming back, missing limbs. This kind of thing is a great thing for those type of people. So I think it's just really cool,
Oh, yeah.
So.
And real quick, going back to the story I just told, I basically gave you the synopsis to the movie AI that came out a few years ago.
I've never seen that movie.
Well, there you go. There's
So-
a
I've
synopsis.
not either.
Yeah,
It wasn't a real story, so I just,
Fair enough. It never looked like a good enough movie to me, so I never thought.
It really didn't. I just was looking for stuff on AI and found that, and I'm like, I'm gonna see if we can get this through. But the fact that none of you saw the movie, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, so
So
it's
it kind of backfired on me.
Yeah, so.
I was like, for real?
Dude, kid, if you'd give me like the plot to like Grown-Ups or Grown-Ups 2, I probably would have called it right away. But
Yeah, but see, I mean, that didn't have anything to do with AI though.
yeah, so
So
I don't know. I question the intelligence in those movies, but
that was an epic failure.
yeah, I would expect that from Load Failure.
I know.
But with the AI thing, NASA actually, the United Space Station they actually put it as a new member as a robot.
Yep.
Ooh.
That was its job. It's just to hold conversations with people.
So it's not just a robot; it's a robot.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Very nice.
Like, I five him. I said it.
Oh,
Dumbass.
okay.
Oh, denied.
Really?
Like the girl I asked to the freshman homecoming dance, you were denied.
Oh.
Like 3 out of 4 girls I asked to prom in high school. Denied. Number 4 is having flashbacks.
Number 4 is in denial, and yes, it is not only a river that runs through Egypt.
Number 4 is in a corner jerking his shit right now and crying. We should probably turn away.
Probably.
But it's entertaining to watch a man's pain like that. Well, pain and pleasure, I guess. Whatever.
So, does that mean he's a masochist?
Or a sadist because he's making us watch? Sadomasochism.
Okay.
He's both, man.
I think it's funny how we can go on the topic of AI straight to what number 4 is doing in the corner. What's next?
That's a good question. We didn't talk about the new controller for the, or would-be new controller for the Steam Box. The fact that it doesn't have any thumb pads, or thumbsticks, I should say. What it does have is something that's kind of like thumb pads. It looks more or less like a touchpad, kind of like a mouse for a laptop kind of deal. You know, just rub your thumbs on there. That might get me horny. I'm not gonna lie. Too bad that they're inverted instead of pushed out, because then it'd be like, hey, look, here's some gamers that can't get any sex whatsoever. At least I can rub something similar to nipples.
Are there other buttons on this Steam controller?
Let me look real quick. It looked like there was some, but
because the only thing the only thing I can think of.
Honestly, no. Like, if it was like a normal Xbox controller where you had the lighter buttons there, it obviously doesn't have those there. It has another one of those pads.
Yeah.
A, B,
So-
X, Y.
So no, I think it just kind of.
It does.
It does what?
A, B,
Yeah.
X, Y.
Okay, there they are. They're more towards the middle on either side.
Yeah,
of like
because the only reason
that's weird.
The only reason I asked that is because most games on the PC require more than just like what an Xbox controller has. So
True.
if you're going to play a game on the Steam box, then it's kind of like, what are you going to use to shoot? What are you going to use? So it seems kind of it seems interesting how
I'm assuming
how innovative this technology
looks
will
like
be.
a trigger button there.
Okay.
But I don't know. See, I'm still kind of out on the actual controller. It's the pads are neat in their own kind of innovative way, but I don't know, the button placements. I don't think I like that. Really, it looks like it's a handheld boombox more than anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it does.
So I don't know how I feel about that just yet. I guess I'd have to. It's one of those things of like, I wasn't sure about the Xbox controls in the very first Xbox.
True.
Especially the big fat controller.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
But then I
God.
got my hands on it, I thought, shit, this is actually really fitting for the hand, so it turned out really good. So I don't know. I kind of leave it in the developer's hands for the most part and see what comes out. I think the worst controller in history, honestly, was, people are going to hate on me for this one, but the N64 controller was just freaking weird.
It was.
I like the Dreamcast controller. It was one of the first ones to really be form-fitting to the grip.
Yeah, that was a good controller. The Steam Box controller reminds me of the games that you download for your tablets or your phones. Except that it's a little bit bigger. It fits a little bit better in your hand.
And
That's what came to my mind when I first seen it.
honestly, looking at this, it makes me think of what like the NVIDIA Shield handheld device should have been like.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now let's get off of technology. I forgot that it's on the topic list, but that brings me to another topic of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know you and I both watched that.
Oh,
the,
that was a good
other two
show.
experiments didn't seem to, which was fine. It happens.
I hope all you invisible people watched it. If not, shame on you. Go to NBC?
One of those places.
NBC, CBS, one of those.
Too many of those.
I know. And
No, NCIS on CBS.
yeah,
So, NBC.
NBC.
Or it's vice versa.
Yeah,
Whatever.
one of the two. Go on to their website and watch it.
Nah, catch up. It was only the first episode.
Yeah,
So, but catch up.
and the first episode was amazing.
Yeah, I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to spoil anything.
Right.
In ways of who they'll bring into the series, I have no idea, honestly, off the top of my head. It's great to see Agent Phil Coulson back. It's great to see Agent Maria Hill
Yes.
in there. She's
It's
not gonna
always nice to see her.
Yeah, she's sexy. She's not always going to be in there, but since she plays the character of Robin on
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother, and since that's going to be coming to an end, she'll have more time for the Shield TV series, from what I understand,
Yeah.
after that's over. So maybe next season we might see her more often. Let's see, there's another chick on there. What was it, Ming Na, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, she used to be on ER. She's like,
Oh, shit.
she's like in her mid to late 40s, and she is still hot as hell, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I shit you not.
I would not have placed her
I
as...
know, right?
I thought she was
She
more
doesn't-
around my age. or...
No, she's like, but she just doesn't age for shit. That's great.
That's...
I would.
yeah,
It's still,
that's-
still very tappable. What
Absolutely.
can I say? I wasn't even been an Asian. I got the yellow fever. But
I
that's
think
a-
all men do if they are honest.
I got a lot of fevers, but I have a lot of different colors. But whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a totally different topic. And it
We
might be offensive. to
don't
some
have
people,
time
and
for those
if that was
topics.
offensive to you, get a sense of humor. But yeah, so I think it's a pretty neat show, and I'm looking forward to continue watching it.
Same here.
NCIS was great too. So
I don't spoil it. I haven't got to
Oh, yeah,
watching it yet.
I won't, but it was pretty good. All I can say is the original NCIS show. It's to be continued again, so there's more to it.
Really?
As for Los Angeles, whatever. Yeah, Los Angeles. They finished that little storyline they had going there for the time being. So
Please tell me they're just done, because that was, I don't know, they had the Los Angeles going, now they got another one.
no, I didn't mean Los Angeles is done completely. I just mean they finished that small story that they left off in the last season. That's
See,
and hey,
kinda,
I like them both. And let's face it, NCIS was a spin-off of JAG in the first place. So,
true,
and I think NCIS was a lot more successful than JAG.
yeah.
And NCIS Los Angeles was great, though I heard that LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell might be wanting to leave the show, but I hope not, because I think they definitely helped make it.
Well,
And
yeah.
they really haven't done much in closure for Chris O'Donnell's character. But
No.
that aside, either we go into news, or I can talk more about superhero things. Because there is a few superhero movies that are going to be coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for starters, we got Robert Downey Jr. We can look forward to him being in the next two Avengers movies. The
Yay!
next Avengers movie is going to be having to do with the character Ultron, who in some arcs, Ant-Man makes Ultron, because Ultron is a robot, so this kind of ties into the AI crap. Ultron is a robot that kind of loses his shit and realizes that the only way to help, more or less, how is it? Okay, the only way to stop evil in the world is to destroy everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's the idea. But in the movie, apparently it's supposed to be set as Tony Stark builds it. So.
Great.
And so there's going to be that. I know we're going to have Thor 2 before that, and
I'm looking forward to that. That looks pretty badass.
and the new Captain America movie that's coming out next year, Captain America Winter Soldier, which for those of you who don't know, if you remember the Bucky Barnes character, the dude who, sorry if you haven't seen the movie yet, but it's been a few years, so screw it, spoiler. Bucky Barnes is the guy that fell off the train when they were in the snowy mountains and all that shit. Bucky Barnes is the Winter Soldier. He comes back, usually the idea is he comes back, has an age a day like Captain, pretty much, so,
Yeah.
you know, and he becomes the enemy. Usually there's somebody controlling him or some shit, I guess. I haven't read some of those comic books in years, so I don't know for sure. But that's the general idea. So we got Winter Soldier, and then I think after that is supposed to be the next Avengers movie, but I can't say for sure. I don't think they plan on throwing anybody brand spanking new into the Avengers
Oh, really?
yet.
Okay.
But then it's supposed to be at some point the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which has quite a good cast in there. You've got Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro. You've got Zoe Saldana. Vin Diesel does a voice for a character named Groot.
Really?
Groot is basically a living pseudo-sentient tree.
Oh, boy.
Who doesn't say much, really, but I think Vin Diesel's voice might be perfect for the character. So that's kind of interesting. There's also a character named Ricky the Raccoon because he's a talking raccoon that's freaking trigger happy as hell and a little angry all the time.
And his name's Ricky.
Yeah, his name is Ricky the Raccoon. So
Wow. All I can
I think
think of is Floney the Squirrel. Yeah.
But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is part of the Marvel universe, and it's set in space. Kinda. It's interesting set of people. Oh, also for anybody who's a wrestling fan in any way, shape, or form, Dave Bautista, a really big guy actually. He's playing Drax the Destroyer in the movie as well, which I think the role, at least the way the character ends up looking at some point, the role is perfect for him. He also did a role in the new Riddick movie too. I didn't know that until I saw it. I was like, oh my god, that's Batista! Hey!
Wrestling is fake.
How dare you? Ah, screw it.
Yeah.
Whatever. People are going to think what they want. As far as I'm concerned, you know where I stand. Wrestling is scripted. Some of that shit doesn't hurt for shit, and some of that shit actually does hurt, and those guys really get injured. But we're not getting into that tonight. Fuck it. I'm not getting into that argument.
You changed my mind.
Fair enough. So, but yeah, don't tell them it's fake. They might beat your ass.
They don't know where we live.
Yeah. But Batista.
Oh God.
Batista's not a bad actor actually for a big hulking dude kind of thing. I just think he's done a couple movies previous to the Riddick movie and the Guardians of the Galaxy that he's working on now, but the other movies, they just didn't have a good enough script, really, so they didn't do him any justice as an actor. So, but I think, as a badass, monster physique kind of guy, I think he's perfect for some of the roles he's done, like Drax the Destroyer. I think he'll be great for that. And Zoe Saldana, she plays a character in there too, because, she's hot, man.
Yeah.
But, after Guardians of the Galaxy, there's supposed to be an Ant-Man movie sometime.
Serious.
Looking forward to that because Ant-Man and his, usually it's his wife, Wasp, they're normally part of the Avengers as well, so they'll be set for the third movie. There's been rumors of a Black Panther movie as well.
Black Panther.
Yeah, he's a Marvel character as well.
Oh, okay.
He's actually king of an African group, whatever, I don't know the whole story behind Black Panther, but he's pretty badass. But yeah, so there's a lot of good things in the making and a lot of potential good things in the making that I'm kind of looking forward to as a Marvel fan. I'm not like the biggest comic book nerd, but I do read some shit. I just think it's disappointing that nothing's been done with the idea of a Deadpool movie. There's been talks about it for a couple years now, but nothing's been done with it. I'd love nothing more than to see the Deadpool movie happen. Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool, a.k.a. also known as Wade Wilson, which he played the character of Wade Wilson before he became Deadpool in the Wolverine origin movie.
Yeah.
Back. So, where actually he kind of became Deadpool in a sense at the end, but God, they screwed everything up with that horribly.
They did.
Deadpool doesn't have blades sliding out of his arms. He doesn't have teleporting abilities. He doesn't have Cyclops' optic beam or anything like that. The dude just has a super healing factor and a really nasty cancer all over his body.
Kind of reminded me of Baraka from Mortal Kombat.
Kind of, yeah, really. So that's basically the idea behind Deadpool. If he can, take a licking and keep on ticking. And he might like you to lick him, but it's probably really disgusting because I've seen him under that mask and it's not pretty. I'm a little curious of what Lady Deadpool looks like under her mask, but because
not very pretty.
With Marvel, they like to do a lot of alternate universe things. There was a Deadpool comic series going on for a while called Deadpool Corps, where they kind of ended up getting multiple dimension Deadpools together and then went out into space and fought space crime pretty much. So you had the original Deadpool, you had Lady Deadpool, you had the head of Zombie Deadpool, you had Kid Deadpool, who had something very similar to lightsabers as his weapons.
Oh, sweet.
And then you had the dog Deadpool, who was the coolest member of the Deadpool Corps, hands down. So, but it was a great series, and I'm disappointed that they stopped that. I loved reading that shit. It was hilarious. Deadpool is just awesome, and I think Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson Deadpool would be perfect. But anyway, we have a couple spots of quick news, and then we have another Ask Reddit question to get to. So let's see. As far as the news goes, someone talked about. Let's start with the new laws on electronic cigarettes. My phone ended up typing out as new laws fought e-cigs. Yeah, that's good stuff. Let's see. Number 4 was the one who talked about it. So
They were saying that they want to bring in majority of the laws for e-cigarettes except for where you can use them. So you have to be 18 and everything else after information on some of the chemicals and everything else used in them.
yeah, because somebody did a little bit of research for me after I had started using the e-cigs and all that, and they were helping. So it's kind of sad because, well, let's face it, from what they have in there, there's a good chance that they'll kill me quicker than a regular cigarette will. So I might as well kill myself slowly. Basically, e-cigs have what is essentially antifreeze in them to keep things preserved, pretty much, I think it is. And so, if one of those things breaks in your mouth, you're going to suck in basically pure antifreeze. That's not a good thing.
No, it would kill you.
Yeah, so, granted, it won't be a lot, but any bit in your system is bad for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, e-cigs not as great as you once might have thought. Also, apparently, some reports have stated that some people have temporary pulmonary issues with e-cigs. Like, you can sit there and smoke it, and I think what they did was they did a 10-person study. 9 out of 10 people, the first 5 minutes after smoking an e-cig, had a little bit harder time breathing. Not anything dangerous level, just you could feel a little bit more heaviness in you. Personally, I experience that from time to time when I use mine, but I thought, whatever. My lungs are probably shit because I've been smoking for the better part of, 12 years now. So I just figured, whatever, it's just me, my body's not accepting it quite right just yet. But it turns out it's a common thing with e-cig users. So for anybody listening who uses e-cigs, use them what they're mostly meant for. Use them as a quick way to kind of get off of smoking altogether. Don't prolong your use of them because in the end, it's just going to be just as bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't recommend, taking the slow road like I was trying to. Right now I'm back to regular cigarettes, so I gotta find a whole new way to try to quit and still get the idea of the oral fixation that I have from cigarettes. That's the hard part sometimes. So that's that bit of depression for me.
Well, go real quick. I did some research too on this stuff, and going back to what you were talking about with e-cigs and antifreeze, it's not really. It is antifreeze, but it's not the bad kind. It's called propylene glycol, which is different than what is in the bad antifreeze, which is ethylene glycol. Basically, this propylene glycol, it's safe and it's recognized by the FDA. But just to give you an idea of what items at home that contain propylene glycol, the same stuff in e-cigs, shampoos, cosmetic products, medicines, mouthwashes, creams, hand lotions, massage oils, and even deodorants are just some of the common products that have the ingredients.
Okay, in all fairness, so, just to throw this out there to be
You can just stop
weird.
smoking.
Yeah, just in all fairness, so, how many people stuff any of that stuff in their mouth?
Mouthwash.
Mouthwash.
Oh,
Yeah,
mouthwash. I guess that's
mouthwash.
right. Okay. I was just trying to be a jackass, so, because that's what I do.
Well, actually, only one of those 7 items that I listed are ones you put in your mouth.
And they don't recommend you drinking that anyway.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think
And
that's
if
something
one
you
of
can
them
always
things
tell.
broke, are you gonna swallow? I mean,
I
seriously.
don't know. I'll ask her mom if she likes to swallow it. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa!
Awesome. She really is. She's a great lady, and I love her to death. So, yeah. I gotta say it because she,
Might hear this someday.
Wow. My phone really didn't like me typing tonight. Syria weapon resales. That's not what I typed.
Yes,
All right,
the
well,
Syrian
since I
government
brought
is,
that up,
everything must go.
let's talk about the Syrian weapon stuff, because I can't remember what I was even trying to type that came out as resales.
They've agreed to give, or what is
Releases,
it?
that was the word.
Release their chemical weapons.
To clarify this is, there was rumors, both sides are denying it, saying that they were not the ones that used the chemical weapons, and the Syrian government pretty much said to the U.S. is if they want their chemical weapons, that they can pay to take care of them.
Ooh, I farted almost.
I think that, I don't know what the government would do in that case, but...
Because the United States government and the United Nations have been talking about that because of in some thing that most countries have signed, chemical weapons have been outlawed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they're pretty much saying if you want them out of our hand, is you have to pay to take care of it all.
Yeah, I don't know that they'd really go for that. I think they'll just say, no, we told you this. You do
I think
this.
what we're is more.
Do.
I think the United States.
The
government,
UN and the
let's
US.
say like Obama, particularly, is probably more willing to spend more money on dropping bombs on them than just saying, "All right, we'll pay the money to get your weapons away from you." Just because he can bomb another country.
What about
better than
America and their weapons?
Well, no, that's what I was talking
Well-
about. Like the idea of Obama would pay more just to bomb the shit out of the country.
That's one of them controversial things of what should we do since we have some of the same weaponry and everything else. We have not been convicted of using any of them except for hydrogen bombs, and they have not been outlawed from what I remember.
Mm-mm.
Send them all into space. Let the aliens catch the diseases.
Yeah, really.
Suck it. Get
Nuclear
out of our
weapons
airspace.
have been banned from us using them in space. At
I
least
think
in
they
our
would pop up
orbit.
in space. I meant the chemical weapons. Send them away. Lock them up in a tube and fire them off to Mars. Let's face it, we're not going to use that for a while. It's fine.
It's given to the people of Chicago, which, by the way, what is it? The number one crime.
We're number one.
We're number one.
Chicago. We're in Illinois. We can choose
Yes.
this. Sort of. Actually, at the same time, it's really fucking depressing.
Yes.
But Chicago is the number one murder capital in
Yeah! Way to go, Chicago! Yes!
You guys suck.
You can't produce a good National League baseball team, but at least you can produce some good crime.
Go there.
Oh, yeah.
Number one. Number one.
In all fairness, I still hold hope for the Cubs. I see it happen in another 500 years.
And on
We're
that
number 500.
on that topic of the violence up there, somebody in the Illinois government is trying to get the National Guard to be posted throughout Chicago to cut the crime rates.
You know, all that's probably going to happen there, in all honesty, is that we're going to lose some National Guard members.
Yeah.
Mostly because they're going to quit. Like, I ain't going there. Screw that
Yeah, they're
shit.
gonna be like, fuck you guys.
Like, nah,
I didn't sign up for this shit.
I'm not getting paid for this shit. I'm out.
Exactly. Besides,
But I'm not part of the
Cook
National Guard.
County is actually the one who wanted to be cookie cuttered out of the gun laws that had to be implemented in Illinois.
In Chicago, they wanted to be their own state, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say let them. That way the rest of Illinois doesn't have to
You know
fight
what?
anymore.
I'm actually good for that.
As
Bye
far
bye,
as taxes go,
Chicago.
it might not be the greatest thing, but screw it, man. Let's make 51
It's Western
states
State that wants to get rid of Chicago, but Chicago doesn't want to go because mass amount of tax dollars go to Chicago.
You know what? Let's just get a national vote. How many people in the United States think that Chicago should just be like, well, okay, there's that show under the dome.
Yes.
We should just do that.
You know what? I think that's perfectly acceptable.
I mean, now let's take some people out. Let's get rid of let's pull the sports teams out and things like that. But everybody else can just kind of stay there.
Don't forget Gino's Pizza.
Look,
Because
criminals gotta eat somewhere and rob from somebody.
Plug number 6.
Yes,
I don't know the place, so I don't care. And no offense, I'm sure it's great, but I don't care.
it is. I love their pizza.
I missed.
Definitely plug number 6.
I missed the Jekyll and Hyde Club, but that place closed down years ago. That was awesome.
Well,
We actually got to watch one of our classmates back in high school argue with a mechanical skeleton. It was actually really freaking hilarious.
oh my god.
Yeah, that was great.
Awesome.
I mean, granted, there's a guy running a microphone through it, but still, it was just great to see her arguing with a mechanical skeleton.
Yes.
That's just epic, man. You can't. You know.
It was like, you realize that's not a real person, right? Okay, just
He
making
might have
sure.
been at one time. You know, the skeleton. Maybe like a teenager or something. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, enough plugs for restaurants that are gone.
Yeah.
How about one?
No.
How about one more plug? Not
Okay.
for restaurants.
Plug away.
Plug away.
Be sure to follow Wheat Entertainment out on Twitter.
Indeed.
Yes.
At Weak Rogue and Co. Basically, just do a search on Weak Rogue. It's the only one out there. Follow them. They're good.
Well, we're all right, but
They're good.
we try to be
And
good.
also on there,
We
you
try.
can, going back to earlier conversation about Steam,
Let's just say Steam.
something like that, the costume thing.
Oh,
the
steampunk.
steampunk. Right.
Yeah, steampunk. You want to do the contest? Go ahead, upload your picture, hashtag Weak Rogue contest or whatever. something
Yeah.
like
This one
that.
man actually knows Twitter. Thank
Yeah.
you, number 9.
Yeah.
We let him do the social media thing.
Yeah,
That
it's a good
somebody knows
thing.
what they're doing.
We're also on Facebook too.
Yes.
Also, again, about the steampunk costume contest. Since 31st is technically Halloween, and that's on a Thursday, and most trick-or-treating and costume wearing will be done on the 26th and 27th probably, maybe even the 25th. I say we go ahead, and since we're doing the cast on Friday nights now, due to circumstances that we'll get into some other time, it's nothing bad, depending on how you look at it. So we'll probably announce that on another Friday. So our best date to actually derp my asshole off. Best date to actually announce a winner would probably be on the 1st, which is a Friday. So,
yeah.
November 1st, we will be announcing the winners of the contest.
Ask me about my wiener.
The winner gets the prize stated earlier that I can't remember because it was a lot of words.
Alice in Wonderland.
Clockwork
Clock.
Con
It was.
clock.
It was something along those
It
lines.
looks cool, alright?
Yeah.
Do we
I'll
have a
put a
mention of this contest out on the Facebook site or out on Twitter?
I
We will
don't.
tonight.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So,
And
yeah.
along with that, we'll
Like I said,
post
we're
up
never
a
getting
picture of this,
We're
so
putting
you
this
guys
together.
know what the
PR
prize
person
is.
It's nice to have PR
PR
person. I can't be producer, brains of the operation, and PR guy at the same time. So,
And stud button.
absolutely. That is new sexy.
What's up,
With this
Uncle?
contest, please have your entries in by the 31st. Any
Actually, let me stop you on that real quick. I'd say have your entries in by the... You know what? Nobody's going to be trick-or-treating any time on that Monday through Thursday. Have your entries in by October the 28th. That way it gives us the rest of the week to go through them, because if we get a lot, we're going to need time and a little bit of time to go through them and time to actually pick and choose and decide all together what we like.
Yep,
So have them in by whatever the hell the date I said previously.
28th.
No, yeah.
You
no,
said
wait.
28th.
Whatever. I can't remember what I said. That was like 3 seconds ago.
Okay.
I got the memory of a goldfish sometimes, so actually I'm pretty sure they're better at it.
I am
But yeah, and as far as submitting them, what the PR guy said. I knew I invented you guys for something. It's to help out. God knows Loadfailure doesn't do a good job. He's just our editor.
It's because I'm still running Vista, damn it. I've been
Really?
I've been wanting to upgrade to Windows 7 or 8, or put Linux. Damn it, I'll go for the penguin suit.
This is awkward. I told number 7 to upgrade you to at least Windows 8 like a couple months ago. I'm gonna have to talk to him.
I haven't
Somebody
seen
needs a
that.
spanking.
I haven't seen number 7 for a while. Apparently,
I mean,
he's been seeing me, according
Yeah,
to
he stumped in and
pictures
took
I
those pictures
seen.
last week of you and Wiggles von Bonington Scully III.
Yeah, I was
We
kind of
really just
awkward.
gotta stop talking to that guy. He kind of gets us in trouble. Wiggles, that is. He's just kind of... We're supposed to be his bosses. What's going on?
I don't know, and he smokes in the workplace. Well, I wasn't lit, though, but he had a cigarette and all
Well, in all
that.
fairness, you were sitting there with him drinking a beer, so it's kind of... Yeah. I'm gonna have to reprimand you, by the way. I can't reprimand him because, well, he's not alive, so it kind of makes it difficult. There's actually some things against doing that, and go figure, right?
Yeah.
Freaking politics, man. But, okay, I think we have one last...
does it really become an issue if you have a beer or two at work?
Nah. I've heard worse. I've heard people drinking straight vodka at work before, so...
Oh, okay.
Thanks to our friends at Rooster Teeth for always entertaining me. You guys are awesome, by the way, and you're
Yes,
kind of
you
like
guys
the
are.
inspiration for this retard cast. This podcast.
Podcast.
But yeah, we have one more piece of news here about, oddly enough, about Iran and their weapons, and this one actually I got typed out right. Iran weapon give up. That's exactly what I typed.
Iran has actually been talking to like the United States and the United Nations on that they are not trying to make nuclear weapons against what we have said as evidence before on them trying to make nuclear weapons and them saying they will. But they have a new president and stuff like that that might be more willing to work with the war governments.
And that might actually be true now that they have a new president.
Oh,
But-
yeah, they did get a new one, didn't they?
Yep.
I forgot about that. See, this is why I'm glad number 4 is here. He's the guy that keeps in touch with all the politics stuff for us, because I am bored to death by some of that shit.
It just annoys me.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. I mean, seriously, Obamacare? What the hell? Wait, let's not get into that. That's
Yeah.
a long topic.
Yeah,
We're
too
not
long
going
of
there.
a topic to get into.
Somebody in Congress figured out that they could talk 21 hours about it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you told me about
That
that?
was
That's
awesome.
messed up. You know what? Props to that guy for trying.
And somehow they made him sit down and shut up. And
He did that because he wasn't actually postponing the actual vote. He was just talking to get the point out there.
And apparently didn't know when to shut up like some people I know. But,
well, if people
also,
would
he probably
get the
sat down
point-
because I'm guessing, since he's a politician, he was probably old, his legs probably got tired, his voice was probably raspy. He had to sit down and take a drink.
No, he
Of
was
whiskey.
probably... He looked like he was about 40-ish.
Okay, well, screw it. In all fairness, dude, do you think you could stand up for 21 hours straight talking the entire... You know what? The talking thing, I agree. I think you could do. But the standing up for 21 hours straight... well,
I'd give it a shot.
yeah, you would. I'd give up 5 minutes in. That's just me.
He would probably outdo it, though.
Yeah.
I'd get in trouble for pacing.
Yeah, well, nobody said that was against
Nobody
the rules or
said that
anything.
was against
You just
the
have to
law.
be on your feet the entire time.
Yeah, really.
But you have to find something to talk about for 21 hours, too. So, I think if we're there to hold conversation, I think it worked just fine.
And what?
That's little-
One clip I seen, he was actually reading Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham.
Nice.
Yeah. I
He
was like,
actually, by what some news articles said, he did actually put that into actual use besides just actually reading it.
oh, okay.
That's a shame, then. I thought it'd just be great for the time.
I thought he was just, filling dead air,
But he did start before the time frame of the vote, and that was his plan.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's stop there. Like I said, we're not going to get into Obamacare. That was interesting.
But
Nothing
we
got announced.
have time.
Yeah, okay, well, what are we on time right now? Where are we at?
We're at an hour 19.
Actually, that's pretty good for us. We have one more quick topic. It's yet another question from Reddit.
Oh, boy.
I'm just
Our
going
brains and your brains
Click
will
it a
melt
little bit.
much more.
Actually, depending on the answer to this question, it might melt a lot faster. Okay, so this is yet another topic from Ask Reddit that I stumbled across last night. I think after number 4 and I got done, just sending links back and forth for like an hour and a half for pictures on a website. Ooh, check out this one. Ooh, check out this one. This one's neat. This one's neat. That one has tits. This one has tits. So on and so forth. It was a wallpaper website, and we chose a fantasy topic, and apparently fantasy means boobs.
Boobs are good.
Then I got curious and clicked on
women.
Then I got curious and clicked on the erotic section, and apparently somebody needed to tell the runner of that website that erotic doesn't mean straight up porno. So I kind of just went away from that. Well, okay, in all fairness, I did not see intercourse going on, at least between a man and a woman. So, yeah. Anyway, on to the question. Okay, if you had 10 minutes until a nuclear missile hit your area, what would you do? And the room goes silent. I think load's failing again. Number 9, you got anything yet? We asked this earlier, and I was waiting to see what kind of responses people had here, and giving you guys time to think throughout the cast. That's why I usually do this. So, but
well, there are things I would do, but I'm trying to keep it PG-13 up in here. So
Really?
when were we PG-13?
Yeah, really.
Dude, we've mentioned dicks and tits. We mentioned dicks at least twice on here, and tits at least once. 3 times out, I just said it a couple more times. So, PG-13 is not a requirement.
It does, yeah. Well,
Just
and it just
don't
don't
hit
happen.
G because we don't do G.
no.
We're not, happy fun time here.
Well,
We're having fun time.
Go! Sounds like a Korean anime.
it does.
We number one. Sorry, that was wholeheartedly offensive, and I hope somebody got pissed off about that, or somebody pissed their pants about it. Whichever.
While laughing. Or
Yeah.
being offended while laughing.
I am pissed with rage, literally. Anyway, number 9. You have anything?
I really, well, what I would probably do, and it seems kind of stupid, but
Wouldn't be the first thing we say about that tonight.
I would probably take my ladder and go on top of the roof of my house because I'm afraid of heights.
You face your fears one last time.
Yep.
That's pretty good. Not a bad idea, I mean, you might as well. You got about 10 minutes, and it's like, okay.
And plus, I kind of want to see it go on.
Pretty light show.
Yep.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe it would just totally go around me.
One can only hope, right? We'd hate to lose you, number 9. Never mind. Don't worry about
Yeah, let's not talk about that. By the way, I still can't find my shovel. Seriously.
Look, I left it by the shed. I forgot to clean it, though. You're going to have to take care of that.
Dang
It's been a
you!
week. It's probably dried up and crusted on there.
Dude.
I'd seriously take care of that soon before their neighbors see and ask questions. But yeah, okay, anybody else got theirs yet? I'm pretty sure he's still failing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll go with mine then. Let's see. I'm a total animal lover. Not in the weird way, in the total platonic way, like we love you invisible people most of the time. No, not bestiality. Beast form, then bestiality. You at least gotta be like the animal to bang. Yeah. Never mind. You know what? Yeah, he's the only person that's played Grand Theft Auto so far that I know of, so I have no idea what he's talking about. I haven't seen a lot of. I haven't really watched.
Play Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, he got GTA 5. You got it too?
Ooh.
That dang you son of a bitch. Whatever. Anyway.
Man,
GTA
I know what
romance.
I need to
Got
get
it. Nasty.
Right.
Freaking extreme. Get all the money. I get nothing.
It is a fun game.
So it seems.
It is a riot.
Once number 4 is done playing, I'll probably get to borrow it and play. No, he says no. Okay, so I'm going to be sitting in the dark on that for a while.
Well, the only reason being is because the game is just so large.
Oh, yeah, no, I've noticed, man. I mean, look, they brought back the San Andreas. Anyway, we've talked about GTA 5 before, so, but
Yeah.
it's neat, and I want to play it, but moving on. let's see here. My idea is, again, I am a pet lover, so I'd probably get my uncle to get off his ass and hop in his car, throw all my pets in his car. And I figure, why save myself? If I can get him out of here, good enough. With all my pets, good enough. I'll go over to number 4's place, convince him to grab a ladder so we can climb up to his roof of his apartment. And then I think we're just going to stand up there and, smoke cigarettes. And just before the blast reaches us, I want us to jump off the roof and get caught in the blast. Just so, but we have to look at each other, so we have to see how epic it is. And that being the last thing we see. That's my idea.
I think that is a great idea. However, going back to what you were saying about getting your uncle and the pets into a car and having them drive off, to be safe or just to not be around? Because if that's the case, why don't you join them and pick up number 4 while you're at it and then drive away?
Because
be safe.
I've been waiting years to watch him die, and he's been doing the same for me. And I figure we finally have the opportunity to do it at the exact same time. So
See, now that makes sense.
yeah, see, yeah, then we both should die, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. In all fairness, Loadfailure lives in the same town. He wouldn't make it either.
Oh.
No.
Because he'd be too busy sitting there, oh God, I should take this piece of technology, I should take this piece of technology. I need to save the technology.
I would.
And then as he finally gets everything that he wants and he starts walking out to the car, boosh! Dead man.
It's your
And he goes,
that's freedoms.
And then he doesn't get to go out in an epic fashion like me and number 4 would. But that's mine. I can't guarantee number 4 is the same. So, okay. Load, you got one yet? Anything?
Yeah, I've got...
Or would you do exactly what I said you would do? Just collect technology and then fail?
No, actually, I probably would, if I knew it, I'd probably I'd probably do some illegal things.
Okay.
Really?
Hey, I'm gonna die. I may as well
some more
do...
illegal things?
Probably not. I could probably get in trouble for talking about it, but I would... you know what? If I'm gonna die, I may as well do something fairly illegal and,
I'd like to mention that one of the popular comments on this specific thread was people talking about the idea of leaving a funny carbon shadow behind. if you knew that it was going to be coming, unlike the poor people in Japan when they got a couple dropped on them, we had the opportunity to make real history. Well, okay, that's not how I meant that. We have an opportunity to make history in a different fashion of being those what the fuck guys with the carbon shadows. Personally, I think if I actually had a significant other to any degree, I'd probably find a sturdy wall, or a nice, supportive wall that we don't have in this town at all. So, but if we had one, just saying, find it, get to it, start having sex in front of it, and, okay, here's where we're going to get a little NC-17, people. Basically, what I'd do is I'd try to, just pull out at the last second and just, that way you'd have, hopefully, the carbon shadow of your man fluids against the wall too, just in time. Now, to make it perfect, she has to have her back arched and all that. You got to lean back to shoot and everything. If you're really lucky, maybe she shoots something out too, so you got a little back here. The only problem is that might look like you just had diarrhea. So,
yeah, really.
Well, that'd be awkward. Especially if we're doing this for the first time. Anyway, but yeah, that's, my idea for a funny carbon shadow. That, or, since I'm single, probably just, stand sideways and get an erection, but that's about the best I can come up with for that.
Well, no, for me, I'd probably be like, okay, fine, I want an orgy for the last 10 minutes of my
Well, see, here's the problem with that. You and your fiance at the moment, due to circumstances, still with your parents. There's only 2 females in that house, and I'm pretty sure you don't want an orgy.
No.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't want your parents to get involved.
No.
I don't think you can get enough people over in that 10-minute span ready for an orgy. I'm pretty sure there's at least one person I know will probably jump on ship with that right away, but we're not going to mention names, and she grosses me out.
Yeah,
so,
there ain't no way.
Number 4 knows. But anyway, I'll explain later. But, okay, so that makes 3 out of 4. So, speaking of 4, number 4, what's yours?
I've been calling the person asking right in the bottom here about an hour and a half ago.
Ah, fair enough. Boy, that left some awkward silence there.
I know, right?
I'm looking at this. The government's supposed to protect us from other people. You guys have been making my mind melt all night long.
Fair enough. Apparently my mind melted enough not to get it at first, so. But he makes a valid point.
Yeah, he does.
Is, yeah, that should be landing any minute now. I don't hear it.
I don't either.
Alright, I think we're good. I think part of it is because we're not live, so don't worry. This town will be off the face of the earth.
In a few hours.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay.
So, it's all good.
Right on.
We're fanciful.
Yes. And if we're still here, yay, we're still here!
And if we are, I'm sorry, invisible people, you still have to hear us.
Yes.
But anyway, I think that we've made some decent time tonight, and made time decent for once. Kidding. We've ruined everything in the world again.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But that is, I think, all we have time for. And also, we're just, kind of out of topics in general for tonight.
Yeah?
Yes, because I say so. Producer.
Right.
So, plus we've gone on long enough, and I'm pretty sure people are, their ears are hurting by now. So.
Well, if their ears are hurting, keep going on, and it'll be fine.
You shut up so I can end this, so that they can go to bed or go jerk off or do something more entertaining than this. So anyway, just want to say, thanks to all the apparently, supposedly lovely invisible people that put up with our shit every week so far.
Yeah, it's been great.
I'm grateful. I'm sorry that I dropped a few more F-bombs than I usually do tonight, but it just seemed right for some of them. So, thank you, and I hope you join us again next week. Maybe we'll have that orgy you were hoping for.
Maybe.
And if not, then it's just going to be two sad guys crying in a corner while doing dirty things to themselves. So anyway, I hope you all. Yes, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah, yeah. Do the wiggle, man. Hit that.
Listeners, if you would have saw that.
Go number 4.
No, they're not listeners. They're invisible people.
Yes.
My
Our
apologies.
invisible people.
My apologies.
But yes.
In fact, I apologize for myself because I called you listeners earlier.
You sad sack of shit.
I don't apologize for calling you listeners.
Sorry.
Sorry, we don't have someone to apologize for anything. Anyway, enough with the usual. We're trying to end it. Anyway, enough with the we're trying to end this rambling on bullshit that we usually do.
Yeah.
We just want to say again, thank you. We love you, and I hope that you don't have too many nightmares after listening to us.
But if you do,
gentlemen, say goodbye in a clever sense. Yeah, that's clever-ish.
Bye.
Oh, thanks, number 4. You're brilliant.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Oh, and don't forget to clap without your hands.
The